In today's Pick a Card reading, we're going to look at what the universe wants you to know right now. We have three piles, pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. You might feel called just to a single pile, or you might find you're drawn to more than one, or even all three. Trust your intuition and watch the ones that you are pulled towards, because each one could have a message in it for you. As always, the links are down below to each reading, and I'll see you there. Welcome to pile 1. This is the card of action. And it says, now is the perfect time to act. Take inspired action towards your dreams. Move forward with confidence. So this is all about this taking action, moving forward. And as you can see, he's or she has an amazing idea, and it's sparked into their mind, into your mind, and now you are sort of being pushed forwards by this divine light, and you are running with it, and it's all about moving forwards. So this message is largely about moving forwards. So let's have a look. We're going to have 3 cards, and this is going to be our message. 3 cards. What is it that the universe wants you to know right now? What does the universe want you to know right now? 1, 2, and 3. Interesting. They are all court cards. King, Queen, and a Knight. So, with this taking action, we have the King of Cups. So the first thing that the universe wants you to know is you have to have that inner emotional stability. Essentially, there has to be, what peace on earth means is you have to be peaceful within yourself. You have to be emotionally stable. None of this reacting to triggers and you want something, you don't want something, somebody offended you, somebody, sort of did whatever. You have to have this emotional, stable base to move forwards and take this divine action. And to that end, this is the biggest thing that the universe wants you to work on, or one of the biggest things. We don't know what's coming with the other 2. It wants you to really examine your truths, through the light of gold, basically. Gold is an incredibly high frequency, so shine that inner beautiful color light onto it and look at it through the lens of that, and look for the truth behind it. Is what you're going through, are you emotionally stable going through what you're going through with this idea that's come up? Or are you sort of still looking, sort of over the fence for the next best idea? Grass is greener and all that lot. So get yourself into that emotionally stable position, release attachments to it, and just be there, be stable, no matter what's going on around you, however many waves there are and so on. Whoever's like jumping around the place, you are there, neutral, stable, and ready, because that is what's going to get the information coming into you so that you can take this divine action. So the next one is the Queen of Wands reversed. And what this is saying to me is you have to go inwards and look at this idea that you want to take action on and really look and see if it is an inner passion of yours. Is it a temporary passion? Is it a real passion? Is it a fear covering a passion? really examine it, look at it from all sides, and really see that truth in it. Because you only want to be taking actions on true passions, because this is how your soul communicates with you, how the universe communicates with you. And you want to make sure that you are taking action on the right things. And so you need to examine the ideas that come to you before you just start jumping into action. And lastly, we have the Knight of Cups. And what this says to me is this is kind of the whole process just before you take the action. So you get yourself stable, and then you make sure that this is a true passion, and then you move forward with love. Everything going forwards needs to be from love. See it as the bigger picture. And I'm not talking romantic love here. I'm talking unconditional love for anyone and everyone involved in whatever action you're taking going forwards. See all sides. You've got the higher perspective. You're up on this horse. You can see all the obstacles. You can see the way forward. Now it's time to come to it through love and really be compassionate and looking for what is the higher purpose, this divine action. What's the divine purpose behind this love that you're coming from? So make sure that when you take action, you're taking essentially right action. You're taking action from love. So let's have another look with another deck. And this one, we're going to get a little bit more detail around each of these. We're going to have one card under each of them and see if we can get any more detail around this. So we're looking for 3 more cards, and these are making a jump for it. So there's 2 of them. And let's have 1 more card for the details for the Knight of Cups. So let's have 1 more card for details for the Knight of Cups. So for the King of Cups, this emotional stability and inner peace, we have the Sun. And what this is saying to me is to get this inner peace and get yourself emotionally stable, you have to experience some joy. Really raise your flag and say, this is me, this is uniquely me, I am this, and just enjoy being you. Get outside, get in nature, and just love life. And again, enjoyment, loving life, happiness, they're all a choice. So make that choice to feel this, because that's what's going to help you get to this inner peace. And just get out there and feel it. Make the choice and then feel it. So we're going to put this like this, since this one affects this one. Then when it comes to examining your inner passions and things to know whether they're a passion, we have the 8 of Swords. And what this is telling me is the way to go inwards and examine these passions is not just, am I excited by it? But also, is something holding me back from it? Because sometimes passion can be covered up by a fear. So if you go in and make sure that once you've got an idea of this action that you want to take, go and look for any limiting beliefs around it, any fears around it, anything that might hold you back, so that you can clear it. And you want to do that, then have a look and see whether it's a true passion or just a temporary kind of thing that you want to squirrel away on. This will help you really assess this level of truth of whether this passion is actually from your higher self and whether it is actually a passion and not just something you're scared of doing. So, for the coming from love, the Knight of Cups, the details, we have the Two of Swords reversed. And what this is saying to me is you have to come, you have to come from love. And this is saying that there's either unconditional love or there isn't. There's nothing in between. Either you are coming from love or you are not. And it's a case of just simply cutting out anything that isn't you coming from love and really seeing again the truth of it. We've got the moon in here. So don't fool yourself thinking that you are coming from love when you are actually coming from your thoughts instead. You need to feel it. You need to get right into that center where there's no swords. There's just that little gap in the middle that you can see just in here. That's the heart. Get into there and feel what's going on. And if it doesn't come from there, cut it out, because that's not going to help you take the action, the divine action that you need to take to bring whatever this divine idea is that you've got in. Okay, so next, I'm going to grab another deck and let's have a look for some sort of surrounding details on this. So what I want to do, I want to pull 3 cards again, and we're going to look at what's going to help you do this, sort of get this inner peace, really get to the truth of whether it's a passion or not, and then come from love to take this divine action. So what will help you? The next card, what can stop you? And the third card, what else is influencing you to achieve this, to do these details? So what will help you? What can stop you? And what else is influencing you? Since that one is jumping for it. So that was what will help you, what will stop you, and what else is influencing you. What can stop you, and what else is influencing you. So what can help you get inner peace? And for this, we have the King of Swords. And what this is saying to me is what can help you get this inner peace is to really realize your power of your mind. Like I said, happiness and joy is a choice. Making that choice and actually getting that mental clarity will help you control these emotions and get these emotions stable and help get you towards inner peace, because inner peace is largely a function of what you believe, and when you see things that oppose what you believe, what you want to do about it, and being thoroughly in control of your mind. And I don't mean just clamping down on it and wiping your thoughts in meditation or anything like that. I mean literally getting to the control of why are you reacting the way you're reacting. Because to have this, it's actually a very easy state to be in once you have this. Once you have cleared up all the things that are holding you back, it's actually very easy to be in that inner peace. But to do it, you have to have control of your mind. You have to look into the beliefs that are coming up that are causing you distress. Because if something is causing you distress, it means it's your higher self telling you, you know what, this can be resolved now, you're ready. So now's the time to sort of get on and do it. That's why it's come up. So you need to really start becoming a master of your mind so that you can then choose this joy, happiness, and get into this inner peace. So what can stop you from doing this? And for this, we have the Page of Pentacles reversed. And what can stop you from doing all this is essentially getting wrapped up, like this guy's wrapped up in these sparkly lights, getting wrapped up in your ego, not managing to clear the stuff that you want, not managing to be detached and evaluate things from your heart, not managing to be truthful with yourself about the passion, and just staying in your ego, not managing to control your mind and choose happiness and inner peace. It's instead just going through that round, that merry-go-round of like, oh, I adore it. No, I don't. Yes, I do. No, I don't. And just living with that turmoil of changing your desires on a whim kind of thing. So that is what's going to stop you from doing all this and taking the divine action on the right thing. So what else is influencing you? And for this, we have the 8 of Cups. And what this one is saying to me is there are other things. There are a lot of other people around who are putting their 2 cents in, telling you how you should think, how you should feel. You've got your ego mind down here going, well, you should feel this and you should feel this. And you've got all these beliefs and emotions that you've kind of stacked up and put behind you, but they're still there. So it's a case of working through the whole of your subconscious that is holding you back and just ignoring other people's beliefs and emotions and society's shoulds and shouldn'ts around this topic. Really start to look, sort of in the mirror and look at you and what is actually you that is authentic, because that will tell you the right path, and all this other stuff is just influencing you and pulling you in lots of different directions, which isn't going to help you taking action and going through this path into finding the right action and doing it from love. So let's have another couple of cards. So how does this tie into what you've been doing sort of in your past? How does all this tie in? Why is it now time that the universe has decided to give you this message? What's changed in you, that kind of stuff. So how does this tie in with what you've been doing so far on your path? And the second one, if you manage to do all of this, or if you at least attempt to do all of this, what are you expecting will come of it? Let's have a look at that. So, how this ties into your past, and then what you're expecting, if you do all of this, what you're expecting to happen. So for this, we have the Queen of Cups reversed, how this ties into what you've been doing. So to this point, you have been very good at meditating, going internally, really getting to know your true self. And that's why you're now ready for this next step, because you've gotten good at it. I mean, this is a queen. This is, one off the king kind of thing. It's the second highest in the suit. So you are becoming a very good master of getting to know yourself, really know the true, authentic self. And that is what is enabling you to go through this and get this message and take this divine action from love. Because now that you know yourself, it's going to be much easier for you to know what's you and what's other people, and what's the real you and what are the limits that are holding you back. It's going to be very easy to tell the difference between the divine inner you and your ego. And knowing this, you can control your mind because you've gotten good at it in meditation. So this path is going to be relatively easy for you. So what are you expecting? If you go through all of this, what are you expecting the outcome to be? And for this, we have the Queen of Wands reversed, which is very interesting since this one is also the Queen of Wands reversed. So to me, what this is, what you're expecting if you do all of this, given your past about being so good at going inwards and knowing your true self, I think you are going to be able to go inwards and you are going to be able to do this step again very easily. You are going to be able to discern whether something is a true passion and it is something that you want to follow, or whether it's, sort of something that is holding you back, an ego, a belief, something you need to control your mind for, something you just need to make a choice on. That kind of stuff. It is going to be a lot easier for you than most to realize this and do this second action of examining it in depth. So that's a really good thing. That's, again, another reason that you are ready and you're expecting this. You're expecting this to be easy because of the work you've done. You're expecting this result. So let's now have another look at final two cards. What is actually the most likely going to happen, since you're expecting this to be quite easy and expecting to go inwards because you are good at going inwards? What is actually going to be your experience of doing all of this? The most likely experience. And let's get some further advice as well. So, final two cards. So for this, we have the Eight of Pentacles reversed. And this is what's actually going to happen. So, or most likely going to happen, given the current where you are. For this, what this is saying to me is it's most likely, despite the fact that you feel it's going to be very, very easy because you've done so much inner work, I think it's going to be more work than you realize. There are going to be a lot of higher consciousness concepts coming in. The more you get yourself into this inner peace and the more you come from love, you are going to be finding the stuff that's holding you back from love and having to cut it out. And so it's actually going to be demonstrating a little bit more work than you thought might be there. which is a great thing because that is going to take you to a higher vibration because you are clearing all the stuff that is holding you back from this unconditional love and being in 5D. So further advice. And for this, we have the 9 of Wands reversed. So what this is saying to me is, while this might be a bit of work, this is going to be worth it, because this is what your soul wants you to do, this action. This is what the universe wants you to do, to take this divine action, and this is how you do it. So you need to release the worry over the fact that it might be a bit more work than you were anticipating. You have the ability to do this because you have that strength of mind, that you've gone inwards, you've examined everything that's going on, you've spent time in meditation, you've upped your vibration, you've cleared your mind, you've got control of things. It's just literally the tweaks now. These are the smaller bits that you know how to do already. It's just a case of putting them into practice and then bringing it all into your heart so that you can do all of this. So don't be afraid of this, is what this is essentially saying. Yes, it might be a bit of work, but it is so going to be worth it at the end. So just relax, give yourself a break, know that you have the tools to do this, and sit down and do it. Because this is the way forwards, this going into love. If this resonated, drop a like, comment, and subscribe, because I'm a new, small channel and I'd really appreciate your help to grow. As always, take what resonates of this, leave what doesn't. And if you'd like a personal reading, the link is also in the description. I'm Karen from Soul Driven Tarot, and I'll see you in the next pile or the next video. Welcome to the reading for pile 2. And for this, we have the Balance card. And what this says is, take time to relax, indulge a little more or less, set boundaries with your work. So what this is saying to me is, you really want balance in your life. Yes, we have work. Yes, we have home life and so on. It really is about that balance, and it's that balance that lightens up your heart, because this is over his heart. It lightens it up and brings in the joy. It's a little bit of variety everywhere that really makes your soul sing and helps you on your path, basically, and taking the right step forward. So let's have a look. We are going to ask for 3 cards, and we want the messages that the universe wants you to hear right now. 3 cards. Two and 3. That's an interesting collection of cards, giving this one. So, the first one is the 6 of Pentacles reversed. And what this is saying to me is, this has to do partly with your finances. This is the only card in the deck where actual money is changing hands. So this to me says you need some balance and boundaries within your finances. You are about to receive a lot of money coming in, and look at this, there's a balance, a set of scales here. It is all about keeping that balance with those finances. Don't just sort of go in one direction thinking, well, I'll spend it on this. Balance. Take a moment, take a breath, make sure you weigh up the pros and cons of everything that is coming in, everything that is going out. And that is the way to keep this balanced in your life, basically. It is a way to keep it going. You've got this big responsibility. I mean, this guy's got a lottery ticket in his pocket. So it's going to be a surprise amount of money coming in, and it's up to you to keep it in check, as in not going and spending it on silly stuff, but equally spending some on the silly stuff, because you need to fully understand and really feel that divine abundance. And if you're budgeting the whole time, you can't feel that. But equally, you don't want to blow the whole lot on silly stuff. So it's about this balance. This is all about balance around these finances. The second message is temperance reversed. And the biggest message from temperance is balance, of all things. This is a figure that is currently flying, the wings are out, and yet one foot is in the water and one is on the land. So you've got, and I think this is a fire symbol, you've definitely got the fire here with the sun. You've got all the elements, water, earth, air, and fire, all in balance. And it's about mixing that balance and keeping that balance. So to my mind, the universe is saying, watch very carefully what you're doing and stay in balance. That is what's going to keep you going in the right direction, down the right path, is making sure that you are balancing the pros and cons of everything you do and weighing it through your third eye. You know, this is where the information comes in, is your third eye. So weigh it through that. So weigh it through that. Mix your emotions together around it and see that you've released everything that is not neutral, and just get everything into balance going forwards. You know, when you get this call and you win the lottery, there's going to be a lot of excitement. There's also going to be a lot of pressure. What do you do with it? And so on. And you've got to balance all those expectations on you from other people and yourself. So get those plans in place and keep that balance to keep you on the straight and narrow. The last one is the Fool. And what this is saying to me is, you've got your little yappy mind here that is going, but what about? But what about? Listen to this. How about this? Ignore that. Start following this balance, this divine guidance that you're getting. You know, you can see the sun coming down with all these rays. And the sun is here with all these rays. You are being guided and you are in the flow, and you are taking a leap of faith to do all of this. So listen to the divine part of yourself, that innocent part of yourself that is in the flow and one with creation, and ignore that little annoying voice in your mind trying to put you down and stop you doing it, because that isn't going to help you. So let's have a look. We're going to get some more details for each of these and try and get some details for each specific one. So, details for each of these three messages. That are all very much about balance. And I've just noticed he's pretty much standing on an edge of a cliff on one foot. So again, balance. So, details for all three of these. Okay. 2 and 3. So for this one, the the balance within the finances, we have the Five of Cups reversed. And what this is saying to me is you're going to probably make some mistakes along the way. You know, that's what happens when you're learning. And getting balance means that right now you're not in balance. So don't get hooked up on the mistakes. Start remembering there's still good bits left and you can ignore the mistakes and move forward. So do your best to get this into balance and forgive yourself when you don't manage it, because, you know, when a mistake is just learning what not to do, okay? It is not failure. It is purely learning and learning what you didn't want to do. So ignore anything that, you know, does go wrong, but things will, you know, sort of, you will make mistakes along the way. It's a big journey. It's all about this journey. It is not about the destination. It's about the journey. So remember that you have things that go right and things that, you know, might not. And that's okay. Be okay with that and just keep focusing on that balance. So for this one, for the keeping everything in balance, we have the Two of Cups. So to me, this is going to be more about bringing in this balance into your relationships. And again, these relationships are, once you've come into this a large amount of money, these relationships are going to be affected by that. You know, people will see you differently because of it. So make sure you are balancing every aspect of that when you come up with new relationships, because this is about new relationships, not existing ones necessarily, but meeting new people. So make sure that you are balancing your expectations of who you meet before you jump into anything that might be a little more permanent than you would like until you've learnt to evaluate. So for the being in the flow, for this we have the Seven of Cups reversed. And what this is saying, the details of this to me are you're going to have a lot of choices, and it's about choosing which ones or ones are more applicable to you and more in line with your true self in the flow. And be okay with just letting other options go, because once you've got a big opportunity, which this money coming in is representing, there's going to be lots that you can do with it, lots and lots of things, but not all of them will be right for you. So this is what this balance is about, and being in the flow. Get the information coming in and decide which ones resonate with you and which ones don't. And if they don't, let them go and be okay with letting them go. Don't grieve over letting them go or think it's a mistake. Pick the ones that resonate with your heart and go with it. Remember, it's about being your divine inner self, your authentic, in the flow, innocent higher self, and just feeling what aligns with that and letting everything else go. Okay, so let's get 3 more cards and let's have a look at what will help you to follow this message and do this balance thing. What can stop you from getting into balance? And what else is influencing you? Outside of you, inside of you, whatever it is. What else is influencing you in this current imbalance that you're wanting to be in balance, or the universe is wanting you to balance? So 3 cards. What will help you? What can stop you? And what else is influencing you? 2 and 3. Oh, this is another very interesting one. Yes, Two of Cups reversed. So we had Two of Cups over here. So this goes with all three messages. So this is what can help you. So what can help you basically get into balance? And that, to me, from this says you have to look within inside yourself, look at the relationship with yourself, your inner child, your how you talk to yourself. Again, we've come up with this sort of little yappy dog, your inner voice, your inner you. What is making you you? And really get to know that, how you treat you, what energy you have, what thoughts and emotions and feelings and everything that makes up you. What is you? Go inwards and meet you, the real, authentic you, because that is what's going to help you get through all this balance and being in the flow and stuff. So what can stop you? And for this we have the Six of Wands. And what this says to me is essentially, it's like pride comes before a fall, essentially. So what can stop you is thinking you have everything sorted and you don't need to go inwards. It's a case of thinking, it's a case of other people are coming up to you and praising you and saying how amazing you are. But what's the true motives behind it? Because now you're coming into this and you're having to balance. Anyone coming in and stroking your ego should be a red flag, not a good thing, if that makes sense. This is why you need to do this. This is why you need to know and be 100% honest with yourself. Because then if someone does praise you, you can go, yeah, I did do that pretty well. Or, yeah, you don't know the half of it. This did not go quite the way I planned it. Either way, I learnt from it and I have grown from it. But don't let others sway you with their sweet words, basically. No matter what's going on, you want to be going with this balance. So what else is influencing you? And for this, we have the Six of Pentacles, which is interesting given this is the Six of Pentacles reversed. So what else is influencing you? I think, again, down here, we've got a lot of hands going, me, 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 me. You're going to have a lot of demands coming at you once this happens. And that is going to be a big influence. And, some of them are going to flatter you to get there. So be really careful of this. Be careful of these demands. Be in your heart, balance and take it to where you want so that you can give help where you can, but don't let others control how that happens. You be the one in control because you're the one who's been trusted with this, okay? It's about you taking control and you bringing your vision into the earth, into physical reality and helping it go forwards. It's not about other people coming in and taking from you. This is you, the one who's in balance. You're the one who is bringing information in from the divine while staying connected to the ground. Okay? So it's you that has to be in control. Don't let other people come in and influence you. Make sure you are the one that's examining everything and staying in balance. Okay? So let's have a look. Let's have a few more cards. How does this tie into what you've been doing, like in the past, the journey you've had so far in life? How does this tie into that? Why why now with this message? How does this tie into your past? And the other card, what you're expecting when all this happens and these messages become, like, oh, this is what it meant. What are you expecting as the outcome? So 2 cards. How this ties to you and your past and what you've been doing and what you're expecting to happen because of this. So 1 and 2. So how this ties to your past, we have justice reversed. So what this tells me is you have been very, very good at going inside yourself and being honest with yourself. You're not lying to yourself. You still might be influenced by others, but you are completely honest with yourself. And that's a real gift of discernment that will help with this balance enormously. And that is why you are ready to go this path, because of this ability to tell when you're lying to yourself and when you're telling yourself the truth, and knowing which is which. So what are you expecting to come of all of this? And for this, we have the 4 of Swords reversed. And what that's saying to me is you are expecting to be able to take a little bit of a rest through this, lie down and, maybe have a bit of a sleep while the whole, this sort of starts. You're expecting this to give you that rest, a little bit of vacation time away from it all, go on a little bit of a trip. This is the first thing you're expecting to happen. And you're also expecting this balance, because he's in a canoe, or I don't know proper terms, but canoe, kayak, I'm not sure. He's in a canoe on the water, which again, it's not always in balance. If you lean one way, it goes one way. So you're expecting a little bit of turbulence, but you're also expecting it to be a good time, and probably to take, sort of a vacation as one of the first things you do from this. Take time away and really go somewhere remote and just get to know you again and take some relaxation time before you have to worry about balance. So that's what I'm getting you're expecting out of this. So let's have a look. Another 2 cards. What is most likely currently to happen and be the outcome of all of this? No matter what you're expecting, what is the most likely outcome? And then further advice. So 2 cards. What is the most likely outcome? And some further advice. So this is a beautiful outcome. The outcome, we have the world reversed. So what that says to me is, while you're sort of like thinking short term here and expecting short term with a rest and recuperation, and then a bit of unbalance and stuff, and then work it out, what's actually going to happen is you are very rapidly going to become a master at this and prove that you have this internal balance, this internal inner peace, and that you are in control of everything you do very, very strongly, in the way of internal. So you are, it's essentially the magician on steroids, and internal. So you are able to create the sort of the inner peace that you want. You don't care whether someone flatters you, because you've learnt that one. You really know yourself and you're honest with yourself. So you can tell, you can see through this. And what this is saying to me is you will definitely get this balance very quickly. Yes, you, like I said, might make a few mistakes along the way, and that's totally cool, because that's you expanding and becoming even more of yourself. And You are going to manage this. You are going to be a really good person to control this and start helping change the way the world works and what goes on in the world going forwards. So this is a really good thing. So we have further advice, and we have the Five of Swords reversed. And what this is saying to me is that the one thing you kind of have to watch out for is stay in your heart. Don't give in to, wow, this has gone way easier than I thought, I'm better than I thought, and start doing this. Remember, you have this skill. So make sure that you stay in your heart so that you don't end up causing problems that you didn't want to cause, kind of thing. Yes, you are going to have to use discernment for how you want to go forward with this amazing blessing. But do it from love, because people will be disappointed. And that's just going to be the way it is. That's their choice. That's their stuff. But you need to be the shining beacon and know that you are telling the truth to yourself and you are examining everything you do through your heart. You are this, sort of elemental being who is a very high vibration. So make sure you stay in that and don't slip down. This is the warning. Do not slip back down into kind of being power hungry. Make sure you stay where this outcome says you can get to right now, because you are so good at really knowing yourself and knowing your true thoughts and feelings and knowing the truth about yourself, your own inner truth. And you're working on this balance. So don't slip, basically, is what this is saying. If this resonated, drop a like, subscribe, and comment below, because I'm a new small channel and I really appreciate your help to grow. As always, take what resonates of this, leave what doesn't. And if you'd like a personal reading, the link to that is also in the description below. I'm Karen from Soul Driven Tarot, and I'll see you in the next pile or the next video. Welcome to the reading for pile 3. And for this, we have the card Flow. And what it says is find an easier path forwards, surrender the outcome, and relax your expectations. What this says to me is you're getting the message in, you're getting the messages from your higher self. It is beaming them in, and let that guide you, let that help you flow to where you are wanting to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to have 3 cards, and this will be the messages that the universe wants you to hear right now. So 3 cards. Okay. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so the first card we have is the Queen of Wands. And what this is saying to me is that to have this flow and be sort of basically in the now, you have to be ready to follow your passions. You have to be in touch with yourself. You have to be in joy and get in touch with nature as well. Just really be yourself. Don't let anybody else tell you who you should be. Be yourself. Be the authentic you. And go around being this amazingly charismatic person, because that's who you are. The authentic you is inside. You're not afraid of other people saying that they don't like you. You're not afraid of other people saying you don't fit in. Be that authentic you and just flow with it. That is one of the biggest things that you could do to get in this flow. So the second one we have is the moon reversed. And what this says to me is it's time to look inwards and see where you've been lying to yourself, where you've not been your authentic self, because you have to be this authentic self to be in the flow. You're trying to be someone you're not otherwise, and you can't be someone you're not and be successful at it and, flow, because it just doesn't work that way. So you have to look inside and see what reflects back to you that isn't true, and just snip it out your life. Just go clunk. Nope, that's not me. Oh, that bit is me, and so on. And start really being completely and utterly honest with yourself about what is the authentic you and what isn't. And just move more towards lifting that inner veil of who you really are and letting the world see it. So the third one we have is the Five of Wands reversed. And what this is saying is, it's again a very similar kind of like feeling for me here, is stop fighting internally, stop fighting all of your upbringing, the thoughts, the passions, everything that you have that isn't you. Stop fighting it, just let it go. Because at the moment it's warring inside. When you want to show your authentic face to the world and have this amazing flow and do what your higher self is saying, there's a little voice that pops up going, but that's not the way it should be doing. Oh, you'll sound silly if you do that, or oh, and other people will disapprove, or whatever it is. It's that yappy little voice, and that is fighting you internally. And that's what you need to clear. You need to let go of that to be able to be you and be the real you, because there's only one of you, and the universe needs that one of you because it's not complete without it. So if you're fighting it and resisting it and lying to yourself, you're not going to get there, and you need to be there to be this. Okay, so let's pull another deck and let's have a look at some details for each of these specifically. What do we want to know about those three? Just have some details about each of these three things that are in this message from the universe. Give me some details. 3 cards. Okay. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So for this one we have the 10 of Cups reversed. And what this is saying to me is, when you are your true, authentic, wonderful, divine self, unique self, you are going to find this inner peace, this inner joy, this inner happiness. You're going to feel complete. There's not going to be any more sort of feelings of inadequacy, loneliness, anything that's going on internally that isn't just pure joy and happiness and love. All of that is going to disappear once you find this. So that can be your motivation almost for doing this. Be this and you will be happier, a lot happier internally, because you won't be fighting anything anymore. You'll just be being the perfect you that you were designed to be. So how about this stopping lying to yourself. And for this, we have the 10 of Wands reversed. And what this is saying to me is that because of the sometimes when you sort of tell yourself a lie of like, oh, you're not worthy of that, or whatever it is that isn't true, it's actually a lot of work to keep up with. So this is showing you how much energy that you are wasting in your life trying to keep up with these internal lies and limits that you are small somehow, because you are not small. You are a divine being, and you are one with the Creator. You are the Creator. You are incredibly powerful. And yet you're lying to yourself. And it's a heck of a lot of work to do that, to keep up this pretense. So it's time to just let it go. And you will find you will have so much more energy when you do, because you're no longer pretending and you're actually being instead. And that's what will put you into the flow. So you'll claim back a lot of energy when you stop lying to yourself about your limits and what you can and can't do, because you can do anything. You just have to start believing it and start getting rid of these internal lies. So the third one, we have the Page of Swords reversed. And with this being sort of this yappy little voice, this again shows it's all internal communication. This isn't coming from anyone outside of you at the moment, at least. It is all coming from previous learned behavior, learned beliefs, definitions that you've come up with, and it's all this internal voice that is just going round and round and round, that is causing this problem and causing these lies to come up. So it really is working on this internal self-talk, and getting it under control is going to be a big factor in all of this, so that you can emerge your true self and be in flow with the world, be in the now. So let's pull another deck. And what we're going to do this time is have a look at what will help you do all of this and become, sort of you, instead of you covered up by other stuff. What will help you? What can stop you doing it and make you stick with these lies and, negative self-talk? And what else, or who else is influencing you? So we're going to go for 3 cards. What will help you do this and get into the flow? What can stop you from doing it? And what else is influencing you? So you can keep an eye out for it, so you know what it is when you see it. So 1, 2, and 3. What can help you? We have the 8 of Swords. And what this is saying to me, to be this authentic you with true inner happiness, you have to start looking inside, look and do, maybe even this is, sort of like a little mirror. Maybe do some mirror gazing. Really look deep within and see what's going on in there, what's tying you up and keeping you from being your authentic self. Really look into your mindset, into what's holding you back, and really move through it. Change this reflection. And the only way to change your reflection is to change yourself. So start working on yourself to become more of you. And when you do, this reflection will change and you will become more of you, which will put you into this flow. So what is this? What can stop you from being you and in this flow. And for this, we have the Chariot reversed. And what this is saying to me, this has to do a lot with this inner voice and this lying to yourself. You can be pulled in multiple different directions by past beliefs, past definitions, things you learnt growing up, society's rules, other people's rules, the whole works. Things will pull you in different directions, resulting in this kind of like trapped kind of energy. And that is what's going to hold you back from clearing this up and moving to this and moving into this flow. It is literally about staying focused. This is a swords card. It's mental. It is mental focus. So stay away from getting distracted and pulled in all these different directions by this inner voice and beliefs and lies you tell yourself deep down, in your subconscious. It may not even be conscious. And really move into doing this instead of being distracted by it. So what else is influencing you? And for this, we have the Hanged Man. And I think this is a really interesting one for this, because to me, what this says is you are essentially tying yourself in knots, trying to do what you see as spiritual. And rather than actually following your divine self and being in the flow, which is consciousness, you're trying to be a good spiritual person. And the two are very different. This is just another kind of guise for lying to yourself and speaking badly to yourself. You're still shitting on yourself if you're trying to be a good spiritual person, because that's not truth. What's truth is this authentic inner you, the real you that listens to your higher self and goes with the flow. That's authentic you. Okay? This is you with a nice mask on. So don't let these values that you've learnt along the way for being a good spiritual person keep you from being the true divine person that you are. That is a massive trap. So let's have a look at some other stuff. How is this message to you and this flow? How does this tie in to what you've been doing, in your life so far, your past? What sort of, you've been through that has got you ready to hear this? So how this ties to what you've been doing? Then the next one, what are you expecting to come of this? If you move into your, authentic self and present your authentic self loudly to the world, and you get into flow and you don't leave it and you stop listening to what you should do and distractions and, the inner voice and the lies, and you actually move into truth, what do you expect to happen? So 2 cards we're getting. How this ties to what you've been doing, this message, and what you're expecting to happen if you do this. One and 2. So for the how this ties to what you've been doing in your past, we have the 2 of Cups reversed. And what this is saying to me is you have been examining sort of both sides to everything, the yin, the yang, the masculine, the feminine, the however you want to label things, even the right and the wrong. You've been examining this for a long time inwards because you respect this spiritual path. So you've been doing a lot of this work, and this is saying that you've got to a certain stage, but now you're kind of capped, which is why it's reversed. You can't get any further to get to this without flipping it round, as in stopping doing this and taking the mask off. But you've learned a lot from this path. Okay, it's got you a long way along, and you've started to see things from a much higher perspective. You've started to see things from other people's point of view and compare them and see how things make you feel as you do them. And all of these sort of lies that you're telling yourself and the negative inner talk, you've learnt about it. You've understood it. You've come to terms with it. You've seen both sides of it. You've really got it. So it's a really good thing. It's now we need to flip it on its head and take you to the next level. So what are you expecting if you do this and you start being your authentic you? What are you expecting to happen? And for this, we have the Hierophant. And to me, this says, you are expecting this to take you to the next level. You are expecting this to make you a master at this. Because once you are your authentic self and you are in flow, you are a master of your reality. And you are expecting exactly, sort of what should happen, really, in this way. Because once you do this, this will happen. You have leveled up. You're expecting to level up. And there's no reason that this shouldn't be this. So the only thing that can hold you back are these two. So let's see, what is the most likely outcome of this? What will happen if everything else stays the same? What will happen? And then let's have another one for further advice. Okay. So what will happen? The most likely, we have the star reversed. And this is saying, yes, what you're expecting is going to happen. You are going to internalize this amazing knowledge that's coming to you from your higher self, being poured down into you, this knowledge. And everything that you are wishing for internally will happen because you are now being your authentic self and being in the flow. So yeah, you get through this, you ignore these, you get through this, you've got yourself to a certain stage, you will become the master and you will be your authentic self in flow, and it will be awesome. Absolutely awesome. Master of the universe, awesome. So further advice, and for this we have the 8 of Cups. And I think to me what this is saying is there's a heck of a lot going on in this card, and this one was about the distractions. These two were about these distractions. So it's saying be mindful of these. These are going to be the things that could trip you up. So if at any point you are going along this path and you feel stuck, this is where to look. Look for these distractions, let them go. Look for these shoulds and shouldn'ts of who's good and who isn't. Let them go. Let go of that mask. Put your true face on, let the mask go, let it fall down and fall behind you and be thrown away so that you can move into this. So this is obviously going to be a big thing going through this. But you will get there. You expect to get there. And because you are such a master at this, you will get there, which is really, really cool, because being your authentic self and in flow is exactly where you are supposed to be and why you came here. If this resonated, drop a like, subscribe, and comment below, because I'm a new small channel and I'd really appreciate your help to grow. As always, take what resonates, discard what doesn't, And if you'd like a personal reading, the link to that is also in the description below. I'm Karen from Soul Driven Tarot, and I'll see you in the next pile or the next video.